Should be good. All right. Welcome in to the Merrifield Sportsbook Show, folks. We have reached the pinnacle of the college football season. The national championship is on us. NFL playoff divisional round also on us. But more importantly, college football playoff is almost over. It feels like it should have been over weeks ago, but here we are anyways. Justin Walsh, Matt Merrifield, Jada Coster, Nick Burt, joining you once again for the final time this college football season. Don't worry, we're not going anywhere yet. But Justin Walsh, how are you doing here as we record on this Wednesday?
Doing all right. Drive to and from work was definitely interesting. As I noted pre-show, it has not stopped snowing since I woke up this morning. So yeah, drives were definitely interesting, but ready to be here. Ready for national championship, ready for NFL playoffs. Speaking of, would like to congratulate a certain member of this committee for his team winning their first playoff game in 15 years, I want to say. Congratulations, Mr. Jay DeCoster. Took down the Packers. Fuck the Packers. But yeah, so we're just we're feeling good, ready to get this going.
Jay Walsh, I don't know how much you watch the weather report here locally, but I remember back to the days when they said today's snow was going to be a trace to 1 inch, and it still hasn't stopped snowing. Matt Merrifield, how are you doing as it still snows in Macomb County?
I'm absolutely splendid on this Wednesday evening. I wish I felt as good as Jada Coster probably felt on, Saturday night when the Bears won that playoff game. Jay, I hope you got drunk enough for all four of us combined. I'm sure you did. Yeah. I'm sure the hangover felt great the next morning too, but I'm really happy for you, sir. And I can't wait to talk about the machine that is Indiana football. And I actually decided to go back because, full disclosure, we didn't know if we were doing a show until like an hour ago tonight. And I thought about, could I do a last second fraud con? And I just did not feel like going through it. So we'll have an updated college basketball fraud con next week as we transition to basketball season. But I'm looking at my ranking, my final college football fraud con from, I don't remember what week this was from. Fraud con 1, Miami. So there's that. Let's see. Oregon and Bama were on there. I think that was pretty right. Ohio State at FraudCon 9 with DeWitt football seems a bit yucky at this point. Who else? Oh, Michigan and Utah were both frauds together. Shout out those two. The match made in heaven. Anyways, that's all I got. Let's get into whatever. Yeah, let's talk to Jay. What's Jay up to?
Jay, how are you doing? How are you recovering here after the biggest sporting event that ever took place in the history of the world in Chicago sports when UConn beat DePaul on Sunday?
Yes, and then UConn beat Seton Hall. It's about time.
It is about time.
Yes, the biggest sporting event that took place this week. But no, I mean, first time in 15 years. I don't know how they did it. They just keep finding ways to win. I'm sorry, Nick. 21 to 6. I just still don't know how they did it. Like, if Caleb Williams didn't make that crazy throw, rolling to his left with 3 defenders around him, the Bears don't win that game. Somehow did it. I mean, they just keep pulling wins out of their ass, but the defense made adjustments, and here we are. I mean, they keep finding ways to win. I mean, probably one of the best Bears games I've watched. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of success. So, I mean, it was very fun. And yes, Matt, the Sunday morning hangover was the best hangover ever. So, knocked the Packers out twice. Sorry, Nick, but you guys had your time. So,
wow. Incredible analysis right there from Jada Coster. I can't say anything. We'll keep it moving here. Jada Coster's still in the playoffs. What can we say? Who saw this coming in September? I don't think I did, but hey,
Yeah, nobody did. I thought it was like a 9-10 win team. Maybe they sneak in, but I mean, now you get the Rams and Matthew Stafford, who has a broken index finger when it's going to be like 10 degrees. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm sure Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams are licking their chops. But we'll talk about that in a little bit.
all right, let's move into it. The college football national championship is upon us. Monday night in South Beach. It is the University of Miami Hurricanes. That is Miami, Florida, not Miami, Ohio. Taking on the Indiana University Hoosiers. Indiana is an 8.5-point favorite as of now, and the over-under is 47.5. Jay Walsh, will go to you first. Miami, kind of lucky to have escaped against Ole Miss. Great game. Indiana just pedal to metal all 60 minutes against Oregon. Was never close. Is this Indiana's crowning moment, or is Miami going to spoil it on their home field?
It's all setting up for Miami, obviously being able to play in their home stadium, even though, I mean, whether they really get a home field advantage in that stadium when they're playing there is another conversation. But playing in their home stadium, obviously, I mean, they're rolling, coming off a major high off that Ole Miss game. I just don't see it. I mean, Indiana, we all kind of picked Indiana to beat Alabama. We obviously didn't see it going the way that it did. Some of us picked Indiana to beat, or actually, I believe, did all of us pick Indiana to beat Oregon? I think all of us did, but again, not all of us really thought it was going to be just completely as lopsided as it was. I think we're all going to, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think we're all going to be kind of on a similar page here. Indiana's just a wagon. I mean, they are just a completely fundamentally sound football team. They've got enough talent to be able to match up with teams that have high levels of talent, and they will just outwork you, and they will not make mistakes. And every mistake you make, they will capitalize on. I don't see how Miami stays with this team. They might be able to hold their offense in check a little bit more, but Carson Beck has definitely played fairly well in these playoffs. Obviously, I mean, he had the crowning moment of that game against Ole Miss with the late rushing touchdown, but I don't see them being able to keep pace with Indiana in terms of the score. So in the pre-show, I even asked you, Nick, I was like, Indiana's really only favored by 8.5 in this game. I couldn't believe that it was single digits. I'm going to go with Indiana. In terms of the over-under, I think the under is a fair play here, because I could very easily see this being like a 24-10 type game, where Miami's defense keeps Indiana in line, but the offense just isn't able to get things going. So I like Indiana minus the points here, and I do like the under. One more thing that I do want to say before I turn it over to Matt is there's been a lot of criticism, myself included, of the 12-team playoff. A lot of the games that we have seen both this year and last year have been phenomenal football games. And it is kind of working how it has been intended in terms of giving those lesser seeds a chance and seeing them kind of advance in the bracket. I mean, obviously, the whole conversation about, the teams with the buys not having good records. Obviously, Indiana is bucking that trend this year, but I mean, we see teams like Miami this year or Ohio State last year that come in as a little bit lower seeded teams, not getting that first round bye and just working their way through the field. I mean, Nick, you said it, that Miami Ole Miss game last week, I think realistically, that's probably one of the top 5, objectively speaking, top 5 college football games of the last 5-10 years. I mean, that was a phenomenal game. So, I mean, we're getting phenomenal games between teams that really kind of deserve to be there in terms of the talent that they have. And we're seeing it unfold and play out to where these teams that ordinarily would have been completely left out and had a lost season are now getting a shot to play for a national championship, and they get their chance to earn their way there. So as much as I still feel like the 12-team playoff isn't necessarily the best way to go. It is kind of working how it was intended.
Matt, we'll go to you next. Before I do ask you about this game here, I just need to inform you that U.S. Olympian JT Miller just got an assist in the Rangers game to cut the Senators lead 6-1. So I know you love JT Miller being on this Olympic team, but let me get back to it. Indiana has had one of the greatest single seasons in recent memory. Obviously, I don't think we can really argue that they're like one of the best college football teams of all time, because I don't think they are. But this Miami team, it just seems like the momentum has really picked up this playoffs. Do you think that they can spoil this game for the Hoosiers?
I don't, for a couple of reasons. I'm going to try and keep it short because I'm sure we're going to repeat a lot of the same things. Kurt Signetti is just a much better football coach than Mario Cristobal. And I'm trying to like Cristobal more, but there is just the machine that is Indiana in terms of when it comes down to just pure execution. It's, I would argue it's similar. Now they are better than like the 2013, 2014 MSU teams with Mark D'Antonio, but just in terms of execution and going out there and doing your job, like sure, like what they have, like 3, 4, 5 stars on this team. Like it's all, I mean, part of it's the portal and the extra years, but this is just a team that's experienced, knows what they're doing, and they have a coach that just executes and the entire staff executes. So and also hearing that Indiana alums are buying Miami season tickets so that way they can get priority to get tickets to the game on Monday I love it. The fact they have the largest alumni base in the world of the West, regardless, they have the largest alumni base in college football, and they're finally good for the first time ever. It's going to be an IU home game, even in South Beach. So give me the Hoosiers. Give me the Hoosiers big. I do want to bring up, back to Jay Walsh's point, there have been good games. Shout out Ole Miss for providing us with some entertaining football in this college football playoff. Between the last 2 years, we've had more games closer to that Oregon-Indiana game than we've had entertaining football, in my opinion. Now, part of that's just the nature of the sport that we have, because some of these teams just come out and just absolutely shit the bed, and there's nothing we can do about that. But that I don't know how we fix that, because we still had that issue when we had a 14 playoff. So one halfway or the other, it doesn't really bother me. I would like to say, Nick, this goes back. This is what I wanted to talk about. Carson Beck. I am tired of Kirk Herbstreit acting like he's some messiah, look at this stray dog that has found his new home and he's leading Miami to this national championship. Guess what? He won 2 national championships at Georgia. He has 2 rings already. Now, was he the starter for either one? No, because he got beat out by a walk-on. But I don't want to hear about what a sob story of, he was lost and he found a new home in Miami and look at this redemption story. I don't give a shit. He should be good at Georgia. There is no reason for him not to be the quarterback at Georgia this year, other than the fact of his own shortcomings. I don't want to hear of the redemption story. Everything negative that has happened to him in his college football career has been by his own doing. There was no catastrophic injury. There was no incident off the field. He just wasn't that good. And now he's playing for the best defense in the country and a running game that is insane. And yes, he made some nice throws. He also missed quite a few throws last week against Ole Miss. I mean, if you really want to think about it, that game probably should have been more lopsided, considering Miami dropped 4 interceptions and Carson Beck missed multiple throws. Like, I'm glad he ran it in for that game-winning touchdown, but to hear Kirk Herbstreit act like it couldn't have been anyone else for the storybook finish, it had to be Carson Beck running in. Bullshit. That miss me with that, Kirk. Please. I'm glad you and Al Michaels are done calling games for the year, because holy crap. I just that really rubbed me the wrong way. Maybe because I was upset that Ole Miss lost. It's probably halfway to do with it. But just I don't like Carson Beck, and no ESPN PR campaign can change that opinion on me. He's fine, but let's not turn this into something it isn't. Anyways, that's all I got. I just go Hoosiers. Hoosiers. Go ahead, Jay.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, I agree. I mean, it's a great story for Miami. I mean, their defense is awesome. Like, I feel like if their defensive line can really impact the game early, we could see it could get interesting, but I just don't see it. I'm sure we're all on the Indiana train, but I'm all over the Hoosiers as I've always been. I just think when it comes down to execution, I trust Indiana way more than I do with Miami. Yeah, I don't give a crap that it's in Miami's home stadium. The Indiana fans will probably 65-35% Indiana fans. It just when it comes down to the execution, especially their O line, which is really good. I'm taking Indiana here. But like I said, if Miami's defensive line can impact the game early, maybe into halftime, this could get pretty interesting. But I trust Indiana to handle them. So give me the Hoosiers easily. I could see them winning by like 14-17. That's just how dominant they are. So yeah, give me Indiana all day.
I mean, there's nothing really much to add here. I kind of agree with Jay Walsh with what he said in the pre-show about is it really only 8.5? Just the way Indiana has been controlling games this year. I don't really see anything changing here. They're just that good. I don't think Miami can really keep up here, even though, it's in Miami, home stadium, even though that place is full for 1 or 2 games of the year. And then the other 5 or 6 games, there's about 10, 20,000 people there. I don't think it's going to matter. Indiana will be taking over Miami. They will be walking away with the national championship. I think they cover. And honestly, this game probably goes over too, just with the way Indiana's been scoring. I will not be surprised by that at all. So I believe that's all 4 of us taking Indiana to win the national championship on Monday night. I would say that means just put the house on Miami, but we all took Indiana last week, and look what happened. So that is it for the college football season. It's hard to believe we are on week 21 and we have reached the end. But there is obviously still football going on. NFL Divisional Round this weekend. Matt, I'll go to you first. What was your biggest takeaway from formerly known as Super Wildcard Weekend?
It's a great question that I was not prepared for. I mean, I don't know. I guess my biggest thing is, I guess the Rams kind of surprised me from the fact that I thought the Panthers would cover. I can't remember if I ended up taking them. Oh, I went 3-0 this week. That's my biggest surprise. I warned everybody not to follow my picks in the NFL. We went 3-0. Shout out the Bears. Shout out the Texans. Shout out to old man Aaron Rodgers. And I took the Bills. I think those were my 3 picks. So that's my biggest shock, is that I got 3 NFL picks right this weekend. We're going to try and go 4 for 4 this weekend, Jay. Spoiler, I took the Bears again. But anyways, I don't really know if there was necessarily a surprise for me, considering I thought the Bears were going to beat the Packers. I guess Caleb Williams turning it on when he needed to, like Jay said earlier, that throw he made on the run is a throw probably less than 5 quarterbacks in this league can make. So from that standpoint of just seeing him do that when he needs to, now why it took the Bears 2 quarters to turn the lights on. And then again, it's Matt LaFleur. So we all knew that was going to kind of come down in the end. So I don't necessarily know if there's a big surprise for me this weekend, but maybe the Niners defense showing up with all their injuries. That's another one. But
Jay, we obviously know your biggest moment of the weekend, but what is your other big takeaways other than obviously the Bears being good at football?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Niners, I think some of us predicted the Eagles to win this game. I know I did. I know Jay Walsh did, and the Niners just continuing just the magnificence of Kyle Shanahan. I mean, you lose George Kittle, that defense is completely banged up, and they're able to control the football game. Now the Eagles OC Patullo just got fired, had a lot to do with that, but the Niners, they just find ways to win. They're just such a well coached team. It's going to be interesting to see how they go out to Seattle, and see how Seattle handles that. But just the Niners. I mean, Brock Purdy's very solid. McCaffrey is doing what he does, and they just find ways to win. Despite being completely depleted. So, the Niners, I think, were the biggest surprise. So.
Jay Walsh, if I'm not mistaken, and I didn't go back to the tape last week, you took the Eagles to go to the Super Bowl, if I'm correct, and they are now out in the wild card round. Do you have any answers for that?
I was going to mention that as kind of my big surprise of the weekend. I thought that the Eagles were going to figure their shit out and get it together because their roster is simply too talented to not. But I didn't take into account the fact that their coaching staff is inept enough to keep it from happening. And also A.J. Brown has butter all over his hands. So, I mean, it's the Kevin Patullo needed to be fired. I mean, their offense has just been anemic way too many times this year for how talented they are. I think A.J. Brown is gone in the offseason. I've said for a while, I think Nick Sirianni needs to go. I don't think they're going to because he still has that Super Bowl ring to his name. That buys you a lot of time in the NFL, but I think the entire coaching staff is just holding them back. I think they just need to start over in terms of the staff and get fresh faces and fresh ideas in there because that roster is too talented to not be contending for a championship every single year. I do, like Jay, I do want to give the 49ers credit. Kyle Shanahan he's solidified the fact that he is still a top 3 coach in the sport. I don't really think that there's a ton of debate there. He is just a really, really good coach to be able to take this team. And I know that they're a very talented team, but as Jay said, they have a ton of injuries. Obviously, losing George Kittle in that game is going to be a backbreaker. And I mean, we'll talk about that as we kind of preview the next round of the playoffs. But to be able to take that team with that amount of injuries and not only play with, in my opinion, the most talented roster in the NFL, but beat them, I think you have to give the coaching staff a ton of credit. That was really my main kind of takeaway. Also, I don't know how Justin Herbert is alive. That was just, oh my God. There have been very few times where I've watched an NFL game and genuinely felt bad for an NFL quarterback. But I don't know how anyone could watch that game and not just feel complete pity for Justin Herbert for the situation that he has to deal with that offensive line. I mean, they are so bad, and he just got absolutely demolished by that Patriots defense. If the Chargers off season does not involve basically doing a hard reset on that offensive line, I don't really know where they go from there, to be honest.
All right, let's get into the matchups. We'll start with the AFC first. The Bills, after their win against the Jaguars, are traveling to Denver to take on the 1-seed Broncos. The Broncos are 1.5-point favorites, and the Texans are traveling to New England to take on the Patriots. The Patriots are a 3-point favorite. Matt, I'll go to you first here. Who is meeting in the AFC Championship game next weekend?
Well, first off, I just want to say I'm watching the end of this Ole Miss Georgia game, and SEC basketball is a different sport. They are not playing the same sport that Michigan State and Indiana played yesterday. The feel is different. The arena, anyways, I just had to say that SEC basketball is so incredibly fake that it's hard to watch.
Are you saying it just means more?
It means less. Like I'm watching just nobody, like they're playing 5 out. Somebody drives into the lane and nobody comes over to help. There's no weak side help. It's just it's watching layup lines. Anyways, back to the
Who's got a
NFL.
crazy finish. I'm just watching it.
You just watch it. I turned it off to answer the question, so I have no idea. I had
Ole Miss just wanted the buzzer on like a tip.
Love it. I had him at plus 10.5, so I felt pretty good about that. But anyways, also the Missouri Auburn game had the same feel to it. Just absolutely disgusting if you're watching it for whatever reason. Anyways, it's Bonuary. Broncos. Even though whoever wins this game, I don't know. I like everybody in the AFC and I hate everybody in the NFC. So this is hard for me. I'm gonna say, who did I write down? I think I took the Bills. I did. We're going the Bills. They're favored on the road for a reason. I'm sorry. I don't know.
They're not a favorite.
They're not anymore. It's flipped then because it was
the
Bills.
The Broncos are favored 1.5.
I abstain. I abstain.
So let me get this straight. It's Bonuary. You're taking the Bills, but you're also abstaining.
Correct. Moving on. Give me the Pats at home, Gillette Stadium on Sunday. It's going to be a fun game. The under is probably the play here based on the Texans defense is single-handedly maybe the best unit. Like the Texans defense and Miami Hurricanes defense are the two best units in all football at the moment. Unfortunately, Drake May is the new savior of the NFL. He's an absolute stud. He just is. And the Patriots defense is for real. And as much as my father hates Mike Vrabel, the guy, when you're not working for the Tennessee Titans organization, you actually have a shot at being good. So I'm going, give me the Pats on Sunday. I feel confident about that, even though I like all 4 teams in the NFC. I like all 4 teams in the NFC more than any of the teams all 4 of the AFC teams I would take in the Super Bowl over any of the AFC teams. Truly, I don't like the NFC at this point. Did I just say it wrong again, Nick? I'm going to shut the fuck up now, but you get what I'm saying. I hope.
Jay.
Good question.
Jay, please tell me who is playing in the AFC Championship game next weekend.
All right, I'll say that. I'm taking Buffalo. Josh Allen, this is his chance to go to a Super Bowl. I've said that before. I'm still going to say it that Josh Allen can get it done. I think the Broncos are incredibly fake. They've had a schedule that's pretty easy, and a lot of those games have been very close. So
hey, they played the Packers and beat them. So
I mean, yeah, but that's when Micah went down. But fair enough. But I'm gonna take the Bills. I just the only thing that concerns me is if RJ Harvey can get going, then it could be a problem because the Bills' run defense isn't very good. But I trust Josh Allen in the spot. Going up to Denver, I think he can get it done. This is his time to get it done because obviously there's no Mahomes, there's no Lamar. I think he can get it done. So give me the Bills. I'm torn between the Texans and Pats because the Texans defense is really, really good. You saw what they did on Monday. I'd probably lean New England. Drake May, like Matt said, is going to be the difference here. I just don't trust Houston's offense, especially their red zone offense is just putrid. Their defense is awesome. Will Anderson, Daniil Hunter, but I'd lean the Patriots at home here. Their defense is solid. They got Ramondre Stevenson and Henderson. They got a pretty good running back tandem there. So I lean New England, even though they've also had a pretty weak schedule, and some people also think they're fake. But I can't see the Texans in the AFC title game. The Texans always win their wild card game and they get bounced in the divisional. I cannot see a world that with them in the AFC title game. So I'll take the Pats.
Jay Walsh, give us your thoughts here.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, I think both of these games could go either way. In terms of Bills Broncos, I'm going to lean Bills just because when there are 2 teams that I I kind of said it last week with both, or I said it last week with the Bills. I said it kind of the entire season with the Broncos. I don't really believe in either of these two teams. I don't think the Bills are that good, and no offense to Mr. Merrifield down there, I'm not all in on Bonuary. I think if the Broncos had not quite any other quarterback in the NFL, but if they had a lot of other quarterbacks, I think they would be Super Bowl favorites right now. But in games like this where I think both teams kind of have their flaws, I usually go with the better quarterback, and that's without question Josh Allen. So I'm going to go with the Bills in this game. In terms of Houston, New England, I really want to take Houston. I really do. I feel like everyone is disrespecting, and I'm glad Jay brought it up. I feel like everyone is disrespecting a lot of the teams in these playoffs, Broncos included, for not necessarily playing the hardest schedule. The Patriots have played a joke of a schedule this season, and especially when it comes to pass defense, I believe the stat was during the regular season, Drake May had 0 touchdown passes against 11-plus win teams. They played an absolute joke of a schedule. So I don't believe that they are the juggernaut that some people believe they are. And Houston's defense is phenomenal. I think they're going to give the New England offense trouble in this game. But I just can't trust this Houston offense. I mean, they beat the Steelers 30-6 last week. Going into the fourth quarter, they had 7 points, and 2 of the touchdowns scored in the fourth quarter were defensive scores. I mean, I can't trust a team that is going up against a defense that isn't very good and only puts up, so let's do the math there, 16 points on offense against a team that doesn't have a great defense. And then you're playing a team with one of the top 5 defenses in the NFL in New England. I don't see Houston putting up enough points in this game to be able to hang around. Obviously, I mean, defensive scores could happen. Anything can happen. It's the NFL. I think New England wins this one close, and I think they win a low-scoring affair. But unfortunately, I want to pick Houston so bad, but I just can't trust their offense.
Yeah, I'll go to the second game first. Just give me the Patriots. I think that home field advantage is going to play a big factor here. It's hard to win in New England in January. Doesn't really matter the coach. It could be Belichick, could be Vrabel. It's very hard to win there. In January, I like the Patriots here. Yes, it does worry me about the stat that Jay Walsh said about Drake May, not throwing for a touchdown against, an 11-win team basically or more. I still give me the Patriots. The second game, very torn because it is Bonuary. We just love Bo here. We are Bo supporters, but I think the Bills are the better team. I got to take Buffalo here. I don't want to do it to Bo, but I got to take Buffalo. I don't know.
I would like to point out on the AFC side of things, the Broncos and the Texans had the most wins against playoff teams in the regular season. The Patriots only beat 2 playoff teams in the regular season. Buffalo only beat 3. And I believe for each of those teams was beating Carolina, who was 8-9.
Well, and didn't they split the season series so it would be wins against each other too?
Yes. I believe the other playoff team, let me just look again, the Bills, their other playoff win was the Steelers. So, just saying. Just food for thought. You know what? F it. We're taking the Broncos -1.5.
Matt, as I said, if the Broncos had a top 15 to 20 quarterback in the NFL, I believe that they would be Super Bowl favorites. They would, at least for me.
Top 50. Bo Nix is a top 15 quarterback in this league. Bo Nix is a top 15 quarterback. Top 15.
He's fringe.
Top 15.
You're saying he's a top half quarterback in the NFL.
Yes,
Yes.
no doubt.
Half of the quarterbacks in the NFL are worse than
Yes. Yes. Give me 2 seconds. You guys can keep talking about the NFC, and I will list off the quarterbacks he's better than.
Okay.
Shador Sanders.
Stop it.
No, I'm saying he's worse.
He's better than Bushitter. Glad we're really starting the bar low. Give me a sec. You guys can talk about the NFC.
Okay. Jada Coster, I'll go to you first. So we got Seahawks hosting the 49ers. Seahawks are a 7-point favorite. Then we have the Bears hosting the Rams. The Rams are a 3.5-point favorite. The Rams are the only team going on the road this week that are favorites. What are you thinking here? Who's going to be in the NFC Championship next weekend?
Well, I'll start off with the Niners, Seahawks. I mean, that's a lot of points for a divisional game. Like, the Niners have proved they can keep these games close, but they're just so depleted. I mean, the Seattle's defense is different. You saw that in Week 18. So I'm going to lean Seattle here. I don't trust Sam Darnold in this game. It scares me, man. But Seattle's defense is really good. They'll lean on the run game with Charbonnet and K9. They got JSN, the best receiver in the league, but Darnold does scare me a little bit, so I don't love this pick, but I will lean Seattle here. They got the 12s behind them, so give me Seattle. And then this game, I mean, you got Stafford who's got a broken index finger coming into Soldier Field where it's going to be 10 degrees. I saw Stafford's stats where in games 40 degrees or below, or it was 50 degrees below, he has thrown 5 touchdowns and 6 interceptions and a completion percentage of like 57%. So I like the Bears in the points. I'm torn, but you know what? Give me the Bears. The Bears are going to the NFC title game. They're going on to Seattle.
You're not
They're
torn.
beating the
You know
Rams.
it. The
Yeah,
Bears. You know it.
The Bears are beating
The whole
the
world
Rams.
knows. This is.
Yeah.
You know it. Yeah. You know the story.
Don't boy
You're gonna
Matthew.
tell the
Don't-
whole damn world this is Bear territory. Shout out the Calgoritham.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
remember the channel.
don't boy Matthew Stafford. This is like one of the coldest games I think he'll ever play, and I'm not even joking. I think it is the coldest game he'll ever play. Last year against Philly, I know it was snowy, he's in a blizzard, but it was like 30 degrees. Like this is kind of different. So give me the Bears, man. They're gonna find a way to do it again. This is those West Coast guys aren't ready. So give me the Bears. Those West Coast boys are not ready for what's coming.
Jay Walsh, NFC Championship. Who's there next weekend?
49ers Seahawks game, I think, is going to be a disgusting game of football to watch, which is really a shame because both of these teams played so well throughout the regular season. But obviously, I mean, we've talked about the 49ers are just beat to hell right now. No Kittle in that game means they're going to be relying almost entirely on Christian McCaffrey. I think the Seahawks are going to completely game plan around that and just make somebody else beat you. In terms of the Seahawks, I similar to Jay, I don't trust Sam Darnold in a playoff situation. I think they are definitely the more talented team, so I think they will win this game. I'm going to pick the 49ers to cover, but the Seahawks to win. Just because I don't think that the 49ers can win this game just simply because they're just so beat to hell. But I don't think that I don't think Sam Darnold is good enough to have the Seahawks really separate out to where they would be in this game. Or at least he isn't good enough in these primetime situations to separate out to where they need to win by 7 or more. So I'm going to go with the Niners to cover, but the Seahawks to win. In terms of the second game, Rams-Bears, I really want to take the Bears. They are a good story. I I don't just automatically hate all of my division rivals. I know, obviously, as a Lions fan, I'm supposed to hate the Bears because Ben Johnson, betrayed us or whatever. I think the Bears are a good story. Like I said, going into this year, I was pretty decently high on them. I expected Caleb Williams to have a bounce back year after his rookie year, and he has so far. Obviously, we already talked about that throw last week. Very few quarterbacks can make that. He's very talented. I just think that the Rams, know what it takes to get there. They know what it takes to win. They know what it takes to be in those kinds of games. And I think they're the better team. They really are. In terms of all around, I think they are the better team. They have the more experience in the playoffs. I got to take the Rams here. I'm sorry, Jay. Like I said, I would love to see the Bears win this game, but I got to take the Rams in a close one.
Matt, you can either do what you want with the NFC first, or you can go through the list of quarterbacks that are worse than Bo Nix.
Well, we'll start with my NFC picks to start. Give me the Bears plus 3.5. Love it. I think they went outright, but at home in the cold, I'm not a huge Matt Stafford guy in the cold weather, and I'm not a Matt Stafford guy. As great as the season he's having, and as much as he's going to win the MVP, Caleb Williams, baby, Ben Johnson in the cold. Give me the Bears. Give me Jada Coster screaming his lungs out with a nice cold beverage in his hand at Soldier Field.
Well, I'm not going, but
What?
I wish. No, it's Mary Jo's birthday, so we're gonna
Take
watch
her to
this
the
here.
game.
She has no interest in being out there.
I may have to reconsider my pick. Jada Coster's not there. How am I? I'll notice the difference when I hear when the audio is coming through less loud. I'll know that's the Jada Coster difference right there. How much in Vegas is Jada Coster worth to the Bears spread? It's at least 1.5. The line's going to change.
It's got to be the over/under.
When you wake up and the line's at -2, or not -2, when the line is at -5, you'll know it's because Vegas found out Jay won't be there. And either way, give me the Bears. I like the Niners to cover. And you know what? I think the Niners are going to win this football game simply because Sam Darnold's a ginger. I don't trust Sam Darnold at all. At all. I don't like any of the NFC West teams, to be completely honest with you. And the fact that the only other team in the NFC is the Bears makes me sick. Like I said, I don't like the NFC right now. Give me the AFC in 4. All 4. Doesn't matter which 4. But give me the Niners to cover. Brock Purdy. Yes, they're going to have to lean on CMC. Cool. He's made it this far into the season. I think he can handle 2 more games to get this team to a Super Bowl. So give me Christian McCaffrey and the Niners to cover. To the quarterback conversation. And these are just guys that are simply better than Bo Nix. There doesn't even need to be conversation had, even though there are other guys that could be, including your quarterback, Mr. Walsh. But let's start off in the NFC. Whoever the Cardinals quarterback is, doesn't matter. Bo Nix is better. Jackson Dart, Bo Nix is better. Tyler Shuck, Nix is better. Penix, Nix is better. Bryce Young, Nix is better. In the AFC, Titans, or Cam Ward, whoever the Jets quarterback is, whoever the Raiders quarterback is, whoever the Browns quarterback is, Tua, the Colts shit show, Aaron Rodgers. And now we can get into the conference. That's like 14 right there.
So
now
I have come up with a list as well of the quarterbacks that I would have over Bo Nix. Would you like me to go off? I will go division by division.
Go ahead, enlighten me.
So I do want to put a little question up to you. Is this strictly right now who is better than Bo Nix, or who I would rather have on my team moving forward than Bo Nix?
No, right now. If you were lining up tomorrow.
So starting in the NFC West, Matthew Stafford, no question. Okay. Mm-hmm. Brock Purdy.
Yes, but it's a lean Purdy.
It's not a lean Purdy.
It's a lean.
I'd rather have Brock
in
Purdy.
Which system? If we're talking Shanahan system, Bo Nix would be Tom Brady on steroids. And you
I'm
know it.
taking Brock
And
Purdy over
you
Bo
know,
Nix.
Bo Nix is made for the Kyle Shanahan system. But anyways, continue.
I'm also not going to include any of the ones that I believe are like 50-50. So like Darnold, I think is up in the air, but I'm
Very
not
up
gonna
in the
include
air.
that
I don't
right
think it's
now.
that up in the air. I think Nix is
I-
better.
I'm not going to include that one, but I'm just letting you know. So NFC North, Goff. I'd rather have
No,
Jared Goff.
no,
Yes,
stop.
Jared Goff.
Yeah,
Sorry,
no,
Jared
I
Goff
would
is
take
better than
Goff.
Bo Nix.
No, he's not.
Matt,
Yes,
come on.
No, he's
Matt.
not.
Jared
No, he's
Goff
not.
is better than Bo Nix. Yes,
No, he's
he
not.
is.
As of right now, yes, he is.
Yes,
Come
he
on.
is. Caleb Williams. I would rather have Caleb Williams than Bo Nix. Go ahead and tell me I'm wrong.
No, I'd rather have Caleb Williams.
Jordan Love.
I'd take Jordan Love.
That's Sam Darnold area.
I would rather have Jordan Love than Bo Nix. So thus far, we have 2 out of the NFC West and 3 out of the NFC North. NFC East. This is going to get a little controversial. I'm taking Dak.
No, that's not controversial.
That's
I'm
not
taking
comfortable.
Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
I'm taking Jaden Daniels.
Yes, when he's healthy, yes.
NFC South, only one I'm taking is Baker.
No.
That's
No.
Baker.
I would ra-
Shit
I
this
would,
year.
I would rather. I understand he had an off year. I'd still rather have Baker.
Off
Mayfield
year. That's every
than-
other year for him.
I would rather have Baker Mayfield than Bo Nix. So when we go
I
through the
don't know.
NFC, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the NFC. We go to the AFC. AFC West, Mahomes, Herbert. No question, no question. AFC North, Lamar, Burrow. No question, no question. AFC East, Josh Allen, Drake May. No question, no question. AFC South, Trevor Lawrence.
I'd take Lawrence slight edge.
Mm,
He had a really good second half.
he did have a good second half, but the hair throws me off.
But anyway, so if we include that, we had 9 in the NFC. Then we go AFC. That's Mahomes, Herbert, Lamar, Burrow, Allen, May, T-Law. That's 8. Or no, that's 7. Maybe if I can do math. That's 7. So 7 and 9, that's 16. That means Bo Nix is not a top 15 quarterback.
He's not better than, or he is better than Jared Goff. He is better than Trevor
No, he's
than
not.
Trevor Lawrence. He's better than Jordan.
No.
Yes, he is.
Your bias is clouding your judgment.
I'm not biased. He is my bias is that I think he's a good quarterback. That's the bias.
Your
I'm not
bias.
an Oregon fan. My bias is that Bo Nix is a good quarterback.
He is not better than Jared Goff. I'm sorry. He's not.
He
He
might
can
be better than
move-
Jordan Love.
He can move left and right to avoid
I-
pressure. He can
I
play
will
outside.
I will entertain the Jordan Love conversation more than I will entertain the Jared Goff conversation.
No, I will entertain both conversations because he's better than both of them.
No,
He's better than Sam Darnold.
I
he's
didn't
better
even
Hey,
than
I
Sam
didn't see
Darnold.
Jared Goff in a Pac-12 title game.
Anyway, that's 16 quarterbacks that I
What
would
about 9?
easily take. What?
What about you
9.
didn't see Steve McCarthy?
I can definitively tell you I would
I'm
take
also
every
concerned
other
that you thought
quarterback
that
in
Jared
the
Goff.
NFL.
I'm concerned that you thought that Dak Prescott was going to be a controversial take.
Some people are really against Dak Prescott. I think he gets a lot of hate just because he plays for the Cowboys.
He's the only reason they're half decent.
Yes.
Not even
So
half decent. They're still bad, but he's
And-
the reason they're not the
and-
Raiders.
So that is 16 people I would take right now over Bo Nix. And I'm not even including the 50-50s like I think that they could be better. Like I think Jackson Dart will be better than Bo Nix. I'm not ready to take him right now because he's had one season. I think he will be better. Cam Ward, I think he will be better than Bo Nix. Like I said, not ready to take him right now, but I think he will be. Darnold is 50-50 because in the regular season, he's good, but prime time he does not show up. He has an opportunity to prove me wrong here. But yeah, so that's the list. Bo Nix, not top 15.
Have you watched how many Broncos games have you watched this year? Sean Payton's offense is domestic terrorism. It's horrible to watch. And we know Bo Nix can play because we have enough tape of him in college that we know he can play the sport.
Oh, we have plenty of tape of him in college. We have what, six years worth, 7 years
5.
worth?
He played 5 years. No false narratives out
I don't
here.
want to change the subject, but
I like how we're still waiting for Nick's picks in the NFC. But
okay,
go ahead.
go ahead. And then, we'll talk about this on the show.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I don't know.
Okay. Great answer.
Give me the 49ers. Give me the Rams. Sure. Why not? That sounds like a disgusting NFC title game.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So give it to me. Jay, what were you going to say? That's so off topic.
I forgot to bring this up from Wild Card Weekend about Ben Johnson, the LaFleur handshake. And the amount of you've seen this. The amount of texts I got on Saturday night is like, Jay, I'm happy for you. I absolutely hate your coach. Like the amount of copium in that, and Jay Walsh is not directed at you. You are the biggest. You are the most realist Lions fan. Some of these Lions fans are just out of control. Like they're just so pissy that Ben Johnson left them to get a head coaching job. Sorry that you got promoted. And I'm getting texts like, Ben Johnson, this was so disgusting by him. And you got Dickie V tweeting out, oh, this is so classless by Ben Johnson. How dare he do that? It's a freaking rivalry. It's the oldest rivalry in football. I mean, you said F the Packers. Maybe you shouldn't have said that on camera, but like, this is a rivalry. This isn't. We're not playing some NFC West team. Like, and Ben Johnson is what all Chicago is. They cannot stand the Packers. So that's why I want to get off my chest.
Thank you, Jay.
I mean, I don't disagree. Let's also not act like Matt LaFleur is some wonderful person that isn't a prickly POS sometimes. Like we have just 2 head coaches that are just being prima donnas. Like let's call it what it is. Do I care? No. My father was one of those people, Jay, that did not like how Ben Johnson handled himself. And I said, I don't really care. I'm cool with it.
Sorry, don't tell Mike this. He'll listen saying boo-hoo. It's a freaking rivalry.
I'll tell him tomorrow morning when we get a snow day when he's home, and I'll say, direct quote from Jada Coster, boo-hoo, no other context.
It's like, come on, can we grow up here? Like, it's a freaking rivalry. Like, why are we so upset? Matt LaFleur in the first game where the Packers beat the Bears was he kind of during the handshake he kind of took a backstab at him too. So that's just how it is.
What are they supposed to do? Diffmo at midfield?
Yeah.
What do we want him to do? Like,
yeah, I know. Exactly. But I mean, like Ben Johnson's our coach. Like some of these Lions fans are just all pissy. Like, I mean, you guys didn't make the playoffs, so I mean, I don't know.
Tell him, Jay.
All I know is I hope you guys are ready for that Mike McDaniel offense in Detroit next year.
I don't even think they're interviewing him, are they?
Yeah, they are.
Oh yeah, they already interviewed him.
Somebody took a picture with him at the airport.
As I saw somebody tweet out earlier this week, the store owners of the south side of Somerset Mall are about to just absolutely go insane if he gets hired here. That Louis Vuitton store over there is going to see record sales.
He's going to bring all that Coke from Miami up to Detroit. Get ready.
You can just take it through the tunnel at Windsor.
How much money should I spend on a ticket to see Macklin Celebrini on Friday? Sold out.
It is technically sold out.
As we record, tickets are $81 to get in the door.
I mean, they're falling.
They are falling. Unfortunately, I'm too big to sit upstairs at Little Caesars Arena. My legs do not fit.
Legs don't fit anywhere at LCA.
Yeah. Downstairs isn't too bad, but upstairs it just doesn't work. Who's ready for some late night Michigan basketball against the Huskies at Alaskan Airlines Arena? Spoiler alert, I took the Huskies plus 12.5.
Can we talk about Michigan basketball might not be the greatest team that has ever played the game of basketball.
Can we talk about how stupid bracketology is? That they went from being the greatest team ever to a 2 seed to the number 8 team to a borderline 3 seed, losing 1 game. Like,
Maybe they weren't the greatest basketball team ever conceived in the second coming of Christ.
I don't understand bracketology. Like, these guys, I swear, don't have the ability to like have multiple, to think ahead a little bit. Like, hey, we're gonna put Miami as a 9 seed, Miami, Ohio. But even though if they lose a singular game, they are going to lose their at-large bid. So therefore, they're not an at-large team, guys. They have to win their automatic. Like I guess you could make them a 9 seed if they go undefeated, but otherwise, if they lose to anybody that isn't Akron, they are missing the tournament if they don't win the MAC championship. Therefore, they are not an at-large team. Don't put them on the freaking bubble. They're not a bubble team. That's not how that works. I don't understand.
The problem is all the bracketology guys try to do it where if the season ended today and the tournament started tomorrow, what would happen based on the current stuff today, which you can't do for obvious reasons with
not in
automatic
January
qualifiers. But I think bracketology is.
I also don't know. I love how we're getting to bracketology talk in the middle of January. I've looked at my first one 2 weeks ago, and I'm already pissed off about it. How is Auburn in the tournament? Like, I still see them as an at-large team. They stink. They haven't beaten anybody.
The Nepo baby.
The Nepo baby.
They only lost to Michigan by like 150 points.
You got Michigan dropping like flies. You have, like, how is Michigan State still a borderline 4 seed? Name a team with 2 losses that has, or even with 1 loss. You lost by, 4 or 5 to Duke at home. And then you lost by, 3 at Nebraska? And Nebraska apparently is a top 5 team in the country.
Michigan State is also currently one of only like 6 teams in the country with 4 or more quad 1 wins.
Correct. How are they not a safe 3, borderline 2 seed at this point? I don't understand that. Also, Houston's underrated for some reason. Houston might win it all this year. I really like what I see from Houston.
I feel like we have this conversation every single year.
Because last year
we do have this conversation every year.
They were right there last year, and they're better this year.
I understand, but again, truly? I feel like we have this conversation.
I mean, they were right there. You were there.
They're hyped going into the tournament. Everyone thinks that this is the year. Then, granted, they did it later this last year than they usually do, but they get into the tournament and they drop an egg.
They lost in the title game.
I understand. Like I said, they did it later. They did it later than they did.
They lost by like 3.
Do.
It was a 1
They needed
game.
A miracle to beat Duke.
Yeah, but they went to an all 1 seed Final Four and they lost by 2 shots. That is not laying an egg. Let's be fair.
Didn't they have like a 15-point lead?
They might have.
I believe.
I truly don't remember. I was at Luhas with Ben Klein, friend of the program, watching that game. I don't know. I'm so tired of terrible bracketology. Speaking of which, have any of you besides Nick looked at the bracketology website by a certain bracketology god, the bracketologist? If no, you probably know who I'm talking about, go look up that bracketology. Maybe.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, the graphics is disgusting.
I want to throw up. It's not even his fault, probably. Whoever the web designer was for that website for this year should be fired.
Washed out of a cannon.
Like, what am I looking at? Why are there so many colors? Why are there arrows going everywhere? What am I supposed to be looking at?
Like I told you, Matt, I like that you can click on the teams and it gives you like their projection history. Everything else we do not need at all.
I don't need the green and the red to tell me they went up from a 5 seed to a 4 seed in the middle of January. That doesn't do it for me. It really doesn't.
Well, fun fact, Michigan State is down to a 4 seed. It's in red on Lunardi's
For
website.
what? For beating Indiana by 3 touchdowns?
This wasn't updated. This was updated yesterday morning. So does not take.
They won their last game. They won. They beat Northwestern last week. Who?
No.
This is what I'm talking about. And you can't tell me that it's because, like, if we were Nebraska, I might understand it. Like, oh, people don't. It's Michigan State basketball. How? Meanwhile, Michigan just goes out and wins 7 games in a row by 40, and they're the 96 Bulls, and then they lose one game. And maybe they're not actually that good. Their defense is even though they're still number 1 on Ken Pomp, their defense doesn't look that good. Even though their whole game plan is to A, not pull their starters when they go up big on teams. B, so they then rig the net. B, they make shots early in the game, and then teams try to shoot their way back into it when they're poorly coached. And then the game just turns into a shit show because nobody can shoot their way back into games. I can't wait for January 30th. 16 days. Nick, what does Ken Palm say the score of that game's going to be? I don't pay for Ken Palm this year, unfortunately.
Let's see what we got here. We have a 75-72 final with Michigan walking away victorious.
Woke nonsense. If you're telling me Michigan State would be a home dog by 3, I don't bet on Michigan State basketball because it never works out. But I would be hard-pressed not to place American currency on that.
Well, if you would like the reverse, on March 8th, they have Michigan winning 78-69.
Yikes.
You're going to give me they'd be laying 9 in a home conference. Like, see, that's what I'm talking about. Nobody should be favored by 10 in conference games unless it's a really good team versus a really bad team.
Especially when you're playing the current number 13 ranked team in Ken Palm.
Like Illinois tonight, which Illinois might cover. So this is a bad example. Illinois is laying 10 tonight in Evanston. In what world would anybody bet on Illinois to cover that number? I don't care if Northwestern hasn't won a conference game yet. Like, this is Northwestern's Super Bowl. Now, as of right now, Illinois is up 15, and the Wildcats are slipping, but that's besides the point. Georgia was favored by 10 against Ole Miss tonight. I don't know what that was about. Anyways, I'm done. I got nothing else. I can't wait for somebody to hear me ramble about the nonsense that is basketball and the sport that we have.
Wow, absolutely incredible. Matt, I think we should save the real rambling for next week, given that it's the reverse matchup, but tomorrow night the Leafs are in Vegas. We'll save the real rambling next week when the Knights go to Toronto, because that's just going to be a shit show of epic proportions with Marner going back to Toronto. But there was a puff piece put out today. Absolutely disgusting. This dude he's something else. Clearly just couldn't handle the pressure of Toronto. Again, we'll save that for next week. But, college, that UConn win last night, absolutely huge. That is the biggest win Dan Hurley has ever won in his career. It's even bigger than when they beat Seton Hall in that COVID season. Matt, what did you text me? They were 15-14 Seton Hall that year.
I believe they were. Seton Hall was 15-14 that year.
Yeah, it's even bigger than that. So huge win for the Huskies, but we continue on.
I do also just want to bring up one more thing before we get out of here. Going into the season, if you had placed money on Zach Taylor being the only remaining AFC North coach at the end of the year, I think you could have won some pretty decent money.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong there.
I don't know how he still has a job, but he is the only one still with a job.
He could have been fired mid-season. I mean, it was that bad at points, but
officially, Seton Hall was 13-11 with the loss to UConn back in 2020 when Dan Hurley, at the time, first and only time, going into the Prudential Center and winning. So,
big win.
But hey, his legacy is not defined by winning at Seton Hall.
Some would say otherwise. I put that.
I
I
would
put
say
that right up
you want to
there.
talk about asshole coaches. Jay Johnson's not the leader in the clubhouse.
All right.
I'm just saying he sounded like
Hey.
he also should have been teed up like 3 different times last night.
Hey. We don't complain about Big East refs here because Val puts only the best out there.
All right, tell that to like the 3 drunk guys right behind Sparrow Didi's last night, and you could hear everything these guys were yelling.
God, that was so bad for 40 minutes. You just hear. I don't need to hear that.
You have Spiro acknowledging like, "Hey, Spinarkle, don't say something too negative about Seton Hall right now, otherwise we're gonna get mugged."
Basically, because we got inebriated New Jerseyans behind you. I love the Big East. What a conference. Let's just wrap it up here. What a show. Thank you so much for watching. We will be back next week. NFL conference championships will be here. College hoops will be here. Can't wait for it. So we'll see you again soon. And by soon, I mean next week for another episode of the Merrifield Sportsbook Show.